And we're live.
We're back for the second weekly live AMA. Now, is this going to happen every week? I don't know, but it's great that we can do this sometimes whenever we can. And we're pretty excited about this one because, I mean, we've been running the gauntlet. The team has, under the amazing direction of the beautiful, wonderful, fascinating, intelligent person at the bottom, figured out a way to corral around her vision and get out a white paper, finally, that we said that we would never do.
I think and honestly, I'm excited, and which is actually pretty common. Actually, I'm really excited how wrong I was about that. Because seeing it, having it down there, the way that it's gonna, it's not a list of deadlines and things and whatever. It's just like, this is our capacity right now. This is what our goals are. The non-linear roadmap that Dennis is spearheading is another great example, because we're going to be able to take a look at that, and then the DAO is going to be able to decide the direction. So all those parts work together, right? The community and the future focus and the showing all the R&D, like the ideas that we know we're going to be able to pull off, all that kind of stuff in one place is really fun. Anyway, rant over.
And I've worked with some pretty incredible teams in the blockchain space and some shitty teams too. But can I just say, like, one of the best experiences ever in my, blockchain crypto life has been watching this white paper come together and understanding that even though I hail our team in very high regards, the way that they self-organize and they, rally around the things that they're good at to bring about positive change just pretty much blew my mind. I mean,
that's a good point.
So today I'm grateful for each and every member of our team. You might have to use an ampersand in there instead of an and, but yeah, I think that'll fit. Because you guys are awesome. TC, thanks for joining us. Smiley, thanks for joining us. Jay Robinson, thanks for joining us. And Chris Tuttle, it's great to see you on the stream. Thank you for joining us as well.
For reals. Yeah, guys, if you could share this out, we're going to be going over some more questions that were that put into the Discord. And by all means, throw some gratitudes up really quick if you want. Chris, what are you grateful for this morning?
I'm grateful for increased community involvement. We finally have a place to go, point people to, and say, hey, look, if you don't like it, propose a change, and let's see what we can do. And soon we'll have the mechanisms to vote on all that. So, pretty exciting.
Real.
So again, today we're gonna go into the Discord, and we're gonna go through the AMA questions that you guys all dropped in there, one by one, hopefully.
Is it possible to have the white paper up after gratitudes as well? Just leave
100%.
that up on stream.
Yeah, we can throw that up there too. And I'm pretty impressed with like the way that it came together. It was pretty good. I mean, there's some interesting things in there. I think I'll start off by saying, like, one of the things that I'm most excited about is, I think it's one of the last pages or the second last pages where it talks about, the various committees. It's really exciting to ponder like how all of this is going to play out.
Right. All right. Let me throw this up here. All right. Probably make this.
Yeah, and also, like, definitely one of the things that I want to address, because I've been asked this personally a couple of times, is go and check out the area on Uplift services and Uplift World One accounts. So that was a little bit of a miscalculation on our part. Like, when we wanted to whitelist certain members to come in and do building, because we had a couple scenarios or situations where we early days, like really early days, like even like pre-Tuttle days, where we actually gave out NFTs and they were just kind of like dropped on the market and sold, and no one was even an active member. And the whole thing here is a community, right? Like we want to engage active members. So we needed to figure out a way to like whitelist people to accounts that could build something. And then we could say, okay, you built something, here's your NFT, right? And so that's kind of where the Uplift World 1 account came in. And there were some rewards that were going out to that. And just last week, actually what we've done is we've blacklisted that account, so it will no longer get any rewards. And the wax that we've accumulated, we're going to get back, and the uplift that was accumulated as well was going to be burned. That's my bad. I don't like clicking buttons, but when I do click them, I click them rampantly. So every time I went in there to whitelist an account, I was like, oh, Upliftium, click, 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 click. That was totally me. My bad. Like we're not auctioning off the accounts. We're not doing anything weird. We're not into shady business and in these parts. So that's the answer to your question. But you can see all that information if you scroll down on the side of the. My eyes are really bad, but anyway, there's a section there that talks about our 2 accounts and what we do. There's no rewards coming to Uplift Lands. There's no rewards coming to the whitelisted accounts that we are managing. Did I miss anything, Chris? Okay. So let's start with the AMA. Question number 1 is, Corey, how are you today?
I'm super fantastic, Jimmy.
And Chris?
Or person who apparently asked that in the Discord. I don't think that really happened.
Right. And Chris, how are you today?
I'm well this morning. I'm still waking up a little bit, even though it's been a few hours, but good to go.
Yeah, thanks. I mean, Corey and I were talking, like, I've got some decisions to make. I might just move to Canada, and then, like, I'll live in the West Coast, and then, we'll just make Corey go live later. That'll be fun. So first question is from Mickey. What is the current stance of the Uplift team on having advertisement space being provided to other companies that are outside of the current involvement within the Uplift world? How much involvement can these companies have with the land that they control over? Can they have certain special function that is only available to their land plot?
Yeah, I think I see what you're talking about here. So, I mean, it's your land plot, and as long as you're not violating Minecraft terms of services or doing anything that, results in a like DMCA takedown or anything, you can do what you want with it. We've got the image install service. Right now it's through a forum, but the plan is to have that up on enter.theuplift and very automated. We want to then, one of the tasks in the nonlinear roadmap is a rewrite of the image plugin to better support the features the community really wants. And one of those is a more automated swapping of images. So you install the image once, and then you have some sort of access to swap those images out with some more frequency. One of the options that comes from that is the ability to maybe register yourself as part of a content network and have those images automatically updated by a partner or by advertisements. We've already seen little bits of advertising through partners. Things like, I think we had a boat race and Coliseum events, and some of those ones have had advertisers that are not part of the core Uplift pitch. So like it's already happening, and we certainly encourage all of that. If anything is specifically, like I say, counter to the terms of service, we'd have to address that, but that's about it.
Yeah, so the second kind of part that is brought up as well is the Hodl God have a streamer program, Let's Play Together. Different players are featured to have a friendly tour of the land area and their projects. Could we designate player groups that would like to be on such streamers, or could the Uplift team have someone that would do this, or the community, and build a Twitch channel? So this is something that we've kind of done at random periods on this channel, and live stream to Twitch as well. It's not as easy as you would think, because in order to do something like this, you actually have to have guests that want to come and join you on the stream, which isn't easy. But we've seen people like Max Life, and his crew of people over on Theta TV step up. We've seen various people like this, I forget his name now. Something Morgan. No Rush Morgan. That's it, right? No Mush, who has made tutorials. Like, if you go over to our YouTube channel, you can see all of these people doing this. I mean, Any Observation was doing it for a while. Michael USA was doing it for a while. And like, as a community, there's a lot of people that are doing this. And if we know that you're doing this, we're more than happy to feature you on this channel. Now, if you want to come on here and show off your plot, I think Monday Morning and Chill, Corey and I would be more than happy to entertain any people who want to come and show off their builds on the channel. In terms of community play, we have talked about voice channels, and I think that's maybe a little bit down lower, but like these are a lot of things for us to manage. And I think what we poured over to the DAO structure, like a lot of these communities that are managing certain aspects of what the DAO will become will be instrumental in shaping this. But like our small team, we just don't necessarily have the manpower to be able to do that. But I think if any of you guys are out there and you're doing it, we totally want to power you in as many ways as we can, right? So
yeah, well, it's specifically too, if you wanted to head to, I think, the roles and the committees section in the white paper. So the roles that we've proposed here are not totally exhaustive, but I could see somebody from the team or the community in almost all of these roles already. And so a lot of these part-time roles or freelance roles are things like Twitch streaming, Twitter posting, Discord stuff, live streaming. And so like those people in theory would be voted on by the DAO to hold that position, and then would be compensated more on an activities basis. And then committees like the events committee or the marketing committee or the creative committee could lean on that live stream team to do specific things for that committee. So I think we've got a structure in place that could support a pretty expanding and contracting number of dedicated streamers, social media people, and more in direct ground level community engagement from the community itself. We're going to try to get people who are excited about specific communities and specific positions to get this organized before the DAO is even formed. So we can obviously fill all these positions through DAO votes, and they will all be filled through DAO votes. But some of these positions could be pre-filled and then either confirmed or replaced in the first DAO votes. And so certainly if you see a role here, a committee you would like to chair or be a member of, if any of this is interesting to you, please reach out and we can try to start to get that organized. I think we'll get the Discord channels going for these committees, and we'll just start slow rolling this so that people can see what it might be like.
Welcome, Jen. You can't see the Uplift's most awesomest, amazing Jen, the Banksy of the Uplift, probably the committee manager right now, who is planning, in a way, a really interesting test case for what the DAO will be, which is the end event that's happening, I guess, tomorrow. I get confused. It might be Wednesday. But yeah, welcome, Jen.
Thank you.
So do you want to maybe... this might be the opportune time to talk about what the unofficial DAO committee for the end event has been doing. Like, maybe you can give us a little bit of an update on that.
Well, I don't have a whole lot in terms of an actual update. I do know that I have learned that democracy is a very interesting process akin to herding cats. And the other thing that's really being reinforced while we're all, anxiously wondering, is it starting yet? Is it starting yet? We need lead time. And that's going to be something for anybody who is thinking about chairing any of these committees to keep in mind, is that there needs to be enough lead time to actually implement things. Even if we think what we have is easy and doable and shouldn't take too much time, we do need that minimum of a week lead time to actually get something going, because everything else is also going at the same time. So things like deadlines and learning how to work with each other so that we can make decisions together quickly, that's all going to be important and interesting going forward. So anybody who has experience leading committees would certainly be... my inbox is always open, I'll put it that way. Anybody who is good at herding cats, definitely, we want you. And all the ideas people too, because it doesn't work if people don't have ideas. So that's kind of my thoughts on that.
Well, and I'll second that with content, but I do that every day, so it's kind of becoming, droning on. But if you have content that you want to put out there, and I know, like, Chris has been talking to a lot of people behind the scenes about development and things like that, and Corey as well about partnerships. And so, feel free to reach out to us at any time. I think our inboxes are mostly always open unless you're a complete and utter dick. All right. Yeah, I said it.
He's talking about me.
To jump on about lead time for a second there too. When we were like operating under Legend, I was in more or less the project management role there. And yeah, it's a big thing to navigate when you've got lots of ideas, lots of projects that you want to do, but only limited resources. With the DoW committees, I think it's going to be important to remember which things you can do that don't require any new development and which things require new tools or new development or even like new front end work. Like you have to think about the whole project in order to get through in a timely manner. I have a feeling we're going to have skills overlap on a bunch of communities. So maybe the events committee could actually build some of the tech stuff that they need for a specific project and manage that within themselves. But the communities could also lean on like our operations team or some of our development positions to try to get some stuff done. But that's when the real lead time comes in. And that's when maybe even a DAO vote has to come up that says, hey, look, the developers are currently working on the Minecraft version upgrade, but the events committee would really like this tool in order to track leaderboard positions for this event they're doing. Should we derail the development process on the Minecraft upgrade by approximately this amount of time? And we don't want the voting in the DAO to be that granular all the time. That's the reason we have committees. And if the committees can make informed decisions and try to stick to areas that don't require a lot of that development, it will make it a lot easier. But there is going to be a path for both. So.
And I'm a little bit quiet on this front, but I'm probably going to be the biggest critic of why people are spending so much time on minor details. Because I've sat on a few DACs and a few DAOs, and never the one that we're going to use. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. But I'm just going to be quiet because I need to see how the community comes together. I need to see how things are managed. I need to see the ways that are happening for me to be able to see a way forward. And I think that might, I don't want to put words in our team's mouth, but I think that might actually be like our MO in a way. A lot of the mistakes that we've made have actually led us to do bigger and better and more wonderful things. So I don't know, if this is, Zestra, we love you, and I'm not plugged into this, but so much lead time, 2 week of discussion, 1 week for technical implementation. I mean, I kind of like that. I kind of like putting timelines on some of these things if you're a part of this committee. But we're not quite there yet, and I'm kind of excited about it. But let's move on to the next question. I think that this is a really good one by the 7. Actually, before I say that, I want to say, like last week, I skipped over a question accidentally, and if I do that, just drop it in the comments, and somebody will pick it up. Like we're not avoiding questions. I'm just it's 1 o'clock in the morning, and I'm a little bit tired. So, what is the time frame for implementing social logins? So maybe before we actually answer this question, we should talk about what the benefits of social logins are, because people might not actually be plugged into that. I think you're muted again or something.
Oh, yeah, got it. So we had been looking at social logins as a prelude to multi-chain stuff. Right now, you log in with your Wax wallet, and most information is therefore attached to your Wax wallet on enter.the-uplift, with some things being attached to to your Minecraft account that is linked to that Wax wallet. It's a little confusing, and as you add more chains, especially as you add more land, it's not necessarily the best idea to have one of those wallets be the wallet that you have to use for sign-in when any of the wallets might be equivalent for things like buying land. So the idea is we put a social login system with like Google authentication that's linked to a Gmail address that you can then connect as many wallets as you want inside. We had been progressing pretty far on that plan before all of the more recent shakeups. We're obviously in an extremely low power mode right now, so that's not being actively developed. Currently, I'm kind of thinking it might make sense to not. Like it's there on the list, and I think that it will be implemented, but in the short term, it's not required in order for people to claim a DAO token, start voting even on the ETH side of things. Even if we did an ETH NFT or a Matic NFT land sale, people would connect their wallet after they've logged in with their Wax wallet, and that's still manageable. So we have options, and it just sort of depends on where things look once the land auction is done, once we're back to full operational capacity, and when we're starting to prioritize these things. But like, I still think it's almost going to be necessary once we're on 10 different blockchains. But at the beginning, there may be some wiggle room. Also, previously, we had pushed back all of the automated Upliftium services until social logins were in place. If we put social logins aside, we can more or less turn those right on, right? Where Upliftium is being automatically deducted from your account for things like picture installs, portal installs. And that starts to open us up to some of the fun stuff like sign punch tracking that we've just been waiting on because socials was such a big gate for.
Right.
Well, and I think the idea of social logins is amazing and brilliant and wonderful, but we have people popping up in our Discord occasionally that are asking us, hey, my WaxCloud wallet account was hacked. Can you get my NFTs back? And no, we can't. we honestly can't. Like, this is a risk in blockchain. So when we implement something like this, we need to be, as a team or as a community, very careful that it's as secure as it can possibly be, right? So I get from the community perspective that people would really love this, but like, this isn't necessarily the easiest thing to do and make sure that everyone is safe, if that makes sense.
Yeah, well, and changing anything that's this, that has this many hooks into our current system has to be carefully vetted, right? So like, we were very close, but there was a lot of testing and there were some issues that came up that had to, be refactored. And honestly, since this recent change in direction and getting the DAO going, I haven't followed up. And it's going to take a little bit of time to figure out exactly how long we think it would take to put social logins in. I will say right now, with like rewards being on Wax, in Wax, and with Upliftium only being crystallizable on Wax, it would be weird to buy NFTs on Matic or on ETH and to not also want a Wax wallet in order to take advantage of those rewards. So I don't think in the early stages it's going to be that important. Yeah.
Now, a couple of our team members and a couple observers as well have weighed on this next part of the question, but I'm going to ask it here anyway. So again, go to our Discord, go to the AMA questions, and you'll be able to see what they stated. I'm not going to read those out because they're a little bit long. But the 7 also asks, what controls are there in place to ensure observers do not abuse their powers? Now, for me, I quite like this one because like my controls are like going to the team. But I think this is a really important question, and I think this is something that we're actively, methodologically thinking about how to ensure that we're not taking advantage, or that people that we trust are not taking advantage. So I'm curious to know, maybe Corey or Chris, what your responses on that are.
Well, and so I think I've brought it up in the Discord as well, but I would like the Rules and Bans Committee to be the first prototype committee that we spin up once this white paper is being digested by people and everyone's excited about it. Because I think most of the current community moderators and world observers are going to be interested in being on that committee. The Rules and Bans Committee could get you access to increased moderation tools, just like they've had with the observer powers, but also like ideally we want people to have some admin rights in game as well. Like we're heading to a DAO, and in a DAO there isn't going to be that quite the same separation from the team and everybody else. What there is a bunch of different types of permissions, and one of them is who has access to in-game moderation tools. And so getting that committee up and going, starting the discussion, deciding, hey, does everybody in this committee get these tools? Do we have to sign something? Is it only certain people? Should the DAO vote on it, or should it just be a committee vote? A lot of these basic structural things are going to depend on who's involved at that level. But if we can start the ball rolling, that would be great.
All right. Formula 38 asks, for clarity, will the uplift be available on updated versions of Minecraft Java Edition as they are released, or will the world remain on the 1.16.5 build? So I think in the past we've actually updated already, if I'm not mistaken. as the Javas
I don't
have been
think we have
released?
since I've been here.
No, we
so-
never have.
Oh, we
it's,
never
it's
have.
actually
I'm
really
sorry about that.
No, that's okay.
Sorry.
It's really common with people that start doing their proprietary stuff on these games, because to upgrade, we're gonna have to upgrade, potentially like all of the plugins. Not always, right? But in some cases, it requires rewrites of stuff that we have created. So it's a huge tech debt for upgrading. What I would say, shooting from the hip, is that we will definitely upgrade, but it's going to be on, maybe every 5th edition or every 4th edition. And it's going to depend a lot on what the dev schedule is at the time. Chris, is that a fair kind of assessment or guess?
So I don't think you're wrong, and I have a feeling that's about where it's going to shake out. But again, this is where the DAO is going to be super great. And I think one of the first votes that's going to come up is, do we direct dev attention to a full Minecraft version upgrade to a specific version, including all the plugin rewrites required, and put everything else on pause?
Yeah.
Or do we implement these 3 or 4 short-term projects that are going to have immediate benefits to people? And it'll be tough to say. I don't know. The community might decide, hey, it's worth it. Now's the time to get up to date. Let's stop. Let's not do anything else. Let's just do it.
Right.
And that's fine if they want that en masse. I think the team is even torn. It depends on which projects we'd be comparing it to. But like personally, I think with the way the NFT and crypto space is right now, we'd be a little bit silly to focus on a version upgrade unless it gives us access to new things that'll be interesting to the people in the space. But again, it's a fundamental question. Are we continuing to focus on metaverse people? Are we focusing on the crypto space people? Are we focusing on pure Minecraft gameplay that happens to be crypto enabled? I think the DAO is a mixture of those people, and I think that
are we focused on Wax people? Are we focused on Ethereum people? Like there's so many questions that can go out there. And shout out to Cowie, the Uplift Jedi. If you haven't read it, go and read his Uplift World for no coiners. But like I wanna go back to torn, right? Like this is the thing, man. Like our team is always torn. Like, believe it or not, I'm one of the quietest people in our team chats, because like I'm one of the most outspoken that doesn't know, the tech side of things. So I'm very cautiously careful, but we're torn in a way where you rip a photo of the 2 of you in half and each of you keep it in the back pocket of your wallet. This is how torn we are. This is how we operate as a team. And we're very respectful towards each other and the community. So it's interesting to me to hear what Jen had to say about the event, planning for the end committee, and what you're saying, Chris, about how we're going to plug this into the new DAO structure. Like things are really going to change. Like things are going to amplify in ways that we might not even imagine, and I'm not sure I'm ready for it, to be honest. Like when the DAO holders actually tell us, okay, you need to focus on this, and we're like, oh, this is like maybe not what we all want to do, and it's going to be really interesting, I think. So yeah, thanks for pointing that out. No, I definitely should not be the one speaking up more. Like I speak up enough, but thank you for saying that. But the reason that I'm quiet is because Corey says this a lot. Corey and I are here every single day. We're not dumb people, but we're definitely, in terms of the uplift, not the smartest people.
That's just true.
We have some really brilliant people in the room.
Yep.
The people that you don't even know that don't show their faces. So we've got some of the best developers, some of the most amazing creative people that for whatever reason can't show their faces in some senses. But like our team is flipping stellar. And to go back to what Chris was saying earlier, like I would imagine that most of these communities will have a team member person who is sitting on that community. Who is sitting on that I'm using the wrong phrase. It's not community. Who's sitting on that? What are we talking about? That DAO panel who will actually have like direct access to the team and things like that. So that's what I'm actually most excited about, because
Well,
like
I
I've
think
said,
again you might be forgetting, like, there is no the team when there's a DAO. We're all the team at that point. So there are
Yeah.
full-time roles that will probably be the chairs of various committees because they have full-time requirements, and they're, what they're doing aligns so much with the committee. Some committees might not have a full-time chair. Some of them might be a little bit more, relaxed, but it isn't the team that anyone's going to be looking to access. It's the other committees and the other roles. It's, do we need development support? Do we need, operation support? Do we need new powers? Do we need a marketing push? And then working with each other for that. And I've seen DAOs that go the other way, where there's like the DAO that makes votes on decisions, and then the team, which is, a small group of people that you don't necessarily know very well that are paid by a different company. And it's just not as clear. I prefer the transparency and the bi-directional feedback between, functional committees than having.
Well, yeah, and thanks for pushing in there, because like what I was, I kind of got a little bit off topic there, but what I'm most excited about was I would like to see a lot of these committees be potentially even out there in Discord having these discussions, or even live streaming on their own their committee things, right? Like anything is possible. Like you can have any level of interaction within that committee that you want, as long as you're, not attacking our servers, really. Like, does that make sense? Like you can so by porting to the DAO and by porting to this kind of committee resource, I guess what I was trying to say is, like, I'm not really sure how to say this other than to say that, like, as a team, we're here to keep the fundamentals, the operations, the metaverses exist on the blockchain operational.
We were, but not after the DAO. That's the big thing, is the team will disseminate into roles that make the most sense to us from the list on the committee. There are no team roles that aren't highlighted in the white paper already. It's just because we're passionate and fundamental and founding of all of this, we're very likely to wind up in some critical roles.
So you heard it here first. If you think you can write better content than Jimmy D, then you might have a DAO role at the Uplift. I mean, that's where we're headed. Fair enough. Okay.
Good luck getting my vote on that.
I got to get my fucking shit together, because
someone should try.
I didn't even publish an article today. I don't even know what's happening. I mean, God, Tuttle, now I'm worried about my job and my security. Like, I don't know what's happening. I thought.
No, we're all replaceable for sure. Like I say, there's going to be, out of that list of roles and out of those committees, ideally, some of it gets filled in before the first DAO votes. And some of that will be the team saying, hey, look, some of us want these positions. We think we can do them, and we need to between now and the start anyway. So let's do it under this structure. And then when the DAO comes along, we could be voted out and somebody else could be voted in. But there's also going to be lots of other positions to fill. Like, it's not going to be the DAO starts and everything's already full. There's going to be a lot of opportunity for people to come in at that committee level without nuzzling somebody else out. So I'm pretty excited. And anybody can hold multiple roles, right? So you might be getting a bursary for being a part of the live stream team. You might also be, on the rewards committee, and therefore helping to make rewards decisions, but not getting active rewards, but getting a flat rate as part of that compensation. You might be on the marketing committee, where you've all agreed, hey, look, we're only going to, pay ourselves as a commission from partners that we bring in specific types of value. There's a lot of negotiation that can be done there with regards to compensation and how much time any one individual puts in on the DAO. But it's not quite as structured as a traditional company, where it's like, hey, you 13 people are full time, and if we're not using you enough, we're going to find another role to jam you into.
It's going to be interesting. That's for sure. Like, did we just blow your mind, Jimmy?
Yeah, you kind of blew my mind.
All right.
No, I like it. Like, I like it. I'm a little bit sad, because, like,
your job's probably safe there, guy who writes more articles than the rest of the internet combined.
No, I'm not sad about that. I'm not sad about the. I'm not sad about my job. I'm just sad about. I'm just sad about losing my team, man, because they're awesome.
The other way around, Jimmy, you're gaining a team. That's just
Yeah,
like
no,
this
no,
is what
no,
I'm
I
saying.
like it.
Yes,
I like
and
it.
buddy, yes, and it's like
Yeah.
core team, and now everybody else is being elevated to, you know, yeah. No, I think our team's just going to get, you know, bigger and more badassery than it was before.
So I did a live stream before this. There's no more questions, by the way, but you know, I figure a couple more questions from my end will be interesting. But I did a live stream earlier today, and it was with the .gems team, with Martin and Sharmana. I'm sure I butchered it because the spelling's all wrong, and Yana from the .gems team and the Pamela Grants team. And we were talking about, you know, a lot of things over on the EOS Writer channel, and it got my mind, you know, kind of thinking. And so I guess my question is, when we port to this new DAO structure, will every... So actually, yeah. So Tuttle, I think you're more plugged into this, maybe other than Cowie, than anyone else. So this new DAO structure, when we port into it, there will be committees and people will be voting. Now, that process will be unilateral across all of the committees, or will there be an ability for them to decide that all of our meetings are going live or all of our meetings are staying in Discord? I'm kind of curious about that myself, actually, because I don't know the answer to that.
Sorry. So the way I've been thinking about this is DoW proposals go through Snapshot, and some things that committees do, they may build the proposal, but it still has to go to DoW for a snapshot voting. Like, say, the New Worlds Committee. They might come up with great ideas that are fully fledged out for these new worlds with tech development times, target markets, how they're going to implement it, do all of that. But that has to go to a vote because it's going to consume quite a few resources, and they're probably not budgeted for it. Other committees, like, say, the Marketing Committee, might put up a proposal saying, hey, look, fund us to the tune of this amount per month, and we'll come up with these deliverables, and then they will go at it that way. Committees, like, I'm not totally sure how to do this best, whether it should be as long as a majority of the committee, if polled, agrees to the decision, then whatever the representative of the committee says is the decision goes. Or if we want the chairs of the committee to have the ultimate sort of decision-making power. But how it then plays out within the committee could become very unique to each committee. I don't think we need a snapshot-based voting in place for every committee across the board where everything they're doing goes through Robert's Rules of Order and then a proposal and then a vote. If we were doing that, we may as well strip the committees and just let people who are interested try to take those roles and then have other people that do backstops. Committees need a certain amount of autonomy for this to function quickly, right? Otherwise, the DAO voting is always going to be the bottleneck here, and it's going to take forever to move with anything. But that is going to be a negotiated process. It's like, we're still getting the Wyoming DAO formulated. We're still figuring out how the interface between all of this is actually going to look. There are going to be certain areas, like budget allocations, that have to happen in a certain way from day one, and then we can figure out other structures that are also legally compliant later.
So I think I'm understanding the smartest person in the room. To quote this properly, everything up until the point of being voted upon is up to the committee in terms of organization. They can do whatever they want.
So what I would say is a DAO vote could empower a committee to do things that wouldn't require future DAO votes. In the absence of a specific empowering DAO vote, things that a committee decides on would then have to go to a DAO vote for that project to be approved or not, right? So some committees might get pre-approval or blanket approval. Some committees might be a lot more scrutinized. And then all committees except the rewards committee can be as transparent as they want. You know, ideally, it would be great if every committee operated a public Discord channel, moderated all of that, had regular live stream meetings, were as thorough as possible. But that might not be the case for every committee. The rewards committee will have to do things in camera.
Yeah,
so that,
of course. Yeah, right.
Yeah. transparency issues.
I mean, I like it. Like so it's interesting too, because I invited our past guests onto this channel and they're like, you're wax based. And I'm like, oh, well, we're kind of wax based because that's where our home is, like on this channel. This is what we do, but like we're kind of blockchain agnostic. It's just hard for us to really, promote.
It's just,
people who play crazy
right?
fees, right?
We started on wax. Our home base is on wax.
Right.
In a year, it could be one of 4 or 5, right? So who knows?
Well, and there's some really interesting aspects about that, like what happens when the uplift is no longer only on wax, and that's a possibility. That's that's all.
Well, and this is one of the reasons that, like, to me, even when we started, yes, we're wax based, but what we are is we're using wax for NFTs, which made the most sense to be on wax for, and built our home therefore around that. But there were a lot of things that didn't make sense to have on the chain. Right, like our game is Minecraft. Upliftium is not a token that exists on chain. It's part of our own databases, and then it is crystallized onto chain when people want it. And I think having that flexibility from day one, and having made that decision, we're going to do on chain what makes sense for on chain, off chain what makes sense for off chain, now lets us use other chains for areas that make the most sense as well. If we were strictly on wax, like some games have their entire on-game logic on chain, and then it's very difficult to port it. You will ultimately have to have everybody else on wax as well. But yeah, we're a hybrid approach, so it makes it a little easier.
No, but seriously, like you bring out a really good point. Like a lot of projects are crypto based, and they create their project on crypto. We haven't done that. Right? Like what we've done is we've plugged crypto into a really successful, potentially the most successful, gaming platform of the last decade, and we've done it better than anyone else. I mean, there's other people that are doing it, but you're hosting your own server, you're building your own land. There is no community. Again, look at the community part of this white paper and go back to where we hide all the alpha.com and check out the latest article by Cowie about no coiners. I mean, we're still really early in this space. I mean, Minecraft was the most played game of the last decade, really, right? Like it took it took blocks to a whole new level, right? Like it brought Lego into the fold for the new generation of video gamers, right? Like those kids that grew up looking at iPhones in the stroller in the supermarket. Those are the kids that are playing, Minecraft. And blockchain allows the ability to bring an economic level to that has never before been seen. And that's what's exciting to me is
yeah. I would say too, like, you're exactly right with the blockchain side of things. And the other side of this that Corey gets excited about and some people in the community is the Minecraft side of things, right? Like we started on Minecraft. We're here in Minecraft now. It's great. We're not planning on abandoning it. There's so much to build in this world. But like what the Uplift is a bunch of land plots in various worlds. So like if you have a land plot, you've got neighbors. Those neighbors have land plots and you're on a world. That core architecture can go anywhere. A lot of different 3D based games or platforms will let you bring the whole builds, right? So there's the opportunity to maybe bring builds as well. But at the very core, we're just talking these worlds. And now that we're heading to a DAO, like at this point, if anybody wants to build a game or a platform or something that supports our worlds and our plots connected, they can, and they can hook into us already. But now with the DAO, we could also vote to fund them, either while they're being developed or as a bounty after they're being developed. Like there are options there to try to formalize this and have multiple prongs of this metaverse that are all based on that same sort of shared world and shared neighbor architecture. So
in the same way that like
go ahead.
Sorry, there's an echo there. In the same way that we enabled our planet to upgrade their lands into the Uplift world, other projects could potentially do that with us, right? Like the NFT that you own, the NFT of that land is not directly connected to Minecraft. It's an NFT for our project that could go, well, it could go to the moon, really.
Well, and I think what Chris is saying, this is what fascinates me to no end, is that the voxel that is your build, like all the aggregate blocks, that could actually be taken and put into something else, right? And so it's the network and the data that is the creation of the Cathedral 2.0 or Uplifters Tower or, you know, one of these shops or what have you, that can be, you know, basically bootstrapped up into the next level of the metaverse, right? And, you know, I think, you know, 5 years from now, something like that probably will have already happened. Who knows?
Absolutely. Yeah, and exactly, like anywhere from the flat 2D maps, like if somebody wants to build a 2D map game that doesn't take any of this Minecraft stuff into account and lets people click on plots, do, you know, there's lots of gamification mechanics you can do. That's great. But we also want to make sure that it's available for people to get that voxel information like Corey's talking about. One of the things on our roadmap is that idea of an experience world Lite, right? A browser-based way of looking at plots or the worlds. And there are a couple of ways we could proceed with that basically now. And if that's something the DAO is super duper interested in, we could effectively remove the requirement for a Minecraft account to at least look at all of these things. And because it would be software that we would be more in control of, we could have things like that automated NFT buying as well. But it would be more boring. It would be more like Decentraland compared to Minecraft. You wouldn't be building in it, right? But if it's up to date and a mirror of things, then great, right? Like you can always see what's up, what's fresh, and you can jump in world if you really want to be there.
Anyone out there who is listening to this, I really think we need a more boring than Decentraland NFT. I'm just going to say it. It's really good. So I like this. Have you all seen the shop list? What do you three think of the project? Okay, I'm a little bit like, I'll give you my answer. Like, you know, Miss Tiny Brittany, who is the creator of the shop list, and I probably got that a little bit wrong. Like I'm a little bit starstruck because like I just want to have all of the things that I've written about on where we hide all the alpha.com featured on the shop list, and like she's a baller, man. Like
yeah, she's crushing
my DM. She's like, oh, I'm just doing my own thing. I don't care about you, Jimmy D. This is why I'm worried about my job, is because of people like this who are building amazing things for the Uplift to like feature our comments. I flippin' love it, man. Like I flippin' love it. That's my take on it, Corey.
Right. Well, and if I were like, if the DAO was up and running today, I'd be making a proposal saying, hey, look, let's try to secure this person because they're an amazing resource to the community, and if there's any financial compensation that would result in them being able to devote more of their time, let's try to negotiate that as the DAO. Like it doesn't have to be a lot of wax necessarily to keep somebody around and incentivize that way. It may even just be cross marketing, but like that's where a proposal to snap that person up becomes a lot easier than when we are like an LLC and have to go through a fairly formal hiring process.
Right.
Also, I'm assuming that people who are as excited as this are going to be interested in sitting on committees and are going to have other opportunities. But like, let's spin up a role. Let's find something custom for people that are doing this, even if it is a small commitment.
Yeah. I think this is a really amazing start to what is going to be a really awesome addition to the ecosystem for sure. Yep.
Well, so yeah, thank you all for joining us for the second AMA. I was actually expecting a lot more questions, and I'm sad but happy at the same time, because I think that the white paper going out there really secured a lot of people's wonderings about what we're headed up for. And so if you haven't read it, go check it out. I mean, it's in a really easy format. It's not a document that you need to read all the way through. It's broken down quite easily. And I think that the fact that we have almost no questions today is a giant success for me, to be honest.
I'm not unhappy about it either, to be honest, especially because I know people have been in the document reading it. So the plan is to get a final version, as soon as we can, that will have all the details. But I think that final version has to wait until, the deal is done, the DAO is, coming. We're still figuring out key dates too. We'll update people with those dates. We're really hoping to do the snapshot by the end of the month, but we certainly have to have the land auction first. So trying to figure out all of that timing is just getting a little bit tight and interesting. As far as the document itself, like I know there's a lot of talent out there for things like rewording or adding paragraphs as well. You all know the vision, and especially after reading this document, you can probably have a feel for what gaps may be there. I would love reworded paragraphs, new paragraph suggestions, like treat this as if you're part of a university essay collaborative project, and we're going to make something better together for sure than what it is already. So
this is the way. Yeah, going from I think literally everyone on the team had some material effect on it to everyone on the team, getting the opportunity to be part of that is really fun, and hopefully indicative of how the whole thing works in the future. Not hopefully, it just is. Screw hopefully, we're gonna make it happen.
It's gonna be great. And I was gonna say, even though this is a draft, you can totally share it. Right, like we're gonna do a real push for the final white paper, where like we're going out into Discords, we're doing podcasts. Like it's gonna be a big deal, but like you can share the draft now. We can get people excited now, and yeah.
So I work at a school, and the school has a junior high school and a high school and a university attached, and I teach the 3rd grade junior high school students, and every year. They cry like babies because they have to graduate junior high school and go to high school. Now, what's funny about it is they all graduate junior high school and go to high school, not only in the same building, but on the same floor. I'm about ready to cry now because, like, I'm really sad that the team is ending and that DoW is here. Like, I'm kind of like, I really like working with this team, and now I kind of have to prove my worth. But I'm just saying, right? Like,
right. We're going to be on the same floor in the same classroom, doing the same things with maybe different titles. But if you need to cry, dude, you can cry on my shoulder. I love you. We'll get through this.
Right. But like, what I like about this is this white paper for me was the second most instrumental collaborative moment I've ever had in blockchain. Sorry, one of two. It was the most instrumental, but it was one of two that I actually remember. And like, I'm super excited to be able to tap into people that are in the Discord that care, that are asking questions, that are making stuff. Like Mickey, for example, his amazing last Coliseum rendition, Mello, the builds that he's doing, the Tub Gallery. I mean, I know you guys are out there. Miss Tiny B, like you're making these things.
Modded Outlaw with the Upliftium tool was pretty awesome too.
Right? Like there's so many people out there that are creating value for the metaverse that we live in, that when we are able to port towards that DAO, I mean, Ethereum might just die. we might. Anyway, I'm going to chop if you guys have nothing else to say. But thank you all for joining us. I don't know when we're going to do one of these again, but it will be soon. It might not be next week, but I'd like to do these monthly, at least at the very least.
Yeah, no, I think it makes sense. Or really, just like let's put the we're going to keep that channel open, presumably in the Discord. You know, when it fills up with a bunch of good questions that we want to address, we'll know we got to rock and roll.
And best followers. You know, feel free to promote the Uplift World over on your channel because we're going to kill it. Like, it's going to be awesome.
Choppy chop.